I did transition pictures for Sylvia Browne. She was the psychic of psychics for the longest time. I remember her. She wrote about 40 books, some of them quasi-religious, some of them paranormal, but she was very successful. She was on the bestseller list for years, and may still be for all I know. She was on Larry King, she was on Montel Williams. She became this mega psychic medium. Everybody had heard of her. She was very upfront with her gifts, and as a result, got attacked a lot by critics and skeptics. James Randi, the famous debunker, who said that her predictions were no better than guesswork. Anyway, she had a heart attack and died a little while afterwards in 2013, I think, at the age of 77. And it's missed in many ways, because love her or loathe her, she was a real character. However, when I came to do her pictures, they were the opposite of what I thought would happen. And I still don't understand it. I was in this same metaphorical cave I always see. And there was a stone bench sticking out of one of the walls. She was under the bench, wouldn't come out, and was crying. No amount of coaxing would get her out from under this bench. She seemed, to me, terrified of what came next. Which, if you know her stuff, is ridiculous. What reason would she have, given her convictions in life, what reason would she have for believing that something bad was going to happen to her? It made no sense. In fact, when I did get her out from under the bench, she withdrew into a corner, crouched on the floor, crying. Eventually stood up, but with her back to the wall going, "Please have mercy on me. Please be kind." Now, I think she was a religious person. I think she was a Catholic or raised a Catholic or something. She had that kind of belief system about heaven and hell and so on like that. So maybe in her meta-narrative state, she believed that there was a hell that she would have to avoid and a heaven where she'd be welcomed. I don't know how that works, but I think that was her script, her ego script working. But you can't hold back. Try. You can cower, you can resist. But no matter how uncertain you are about what happens next, you have to face it. There's no recoiling from your transition. As she looks at this tunnel, it's like, oh God, what is this going to be? Where is this going to take me? But interestingly, there was no real resistance to it, because she floated. Now, it may very well be that the universe said, look, if we don't carry her, she will never come. But she was compliant in the floating. She goes up the tunnel. And as so often happens, there was a barrier there. In this case, it was like a wall of mesh, fine mesh, like you get in a strainer or a sieve or whatever. And this was her epiphany. This is where she really got what this was about. You know in Terminator 2 when that alien dressed as a policeman passes through bars? That's what this was. She went in to this strainer thing. And what was left behind, what she had to have removed, what she shed at this particular point was a need to control, which I think may have been the problem all the way down to the beginning. She couldn't control what happened next. She didn't have a say in how it went. Maybe in life she could control everything. In this, she couldn't. Now she was about to find out if what she'd said was actually true. She passes through this sieve and is stripped of ego concerns, fears, fight, determination, her script. Whatever remained of these things slid off her like a skin and was left on the other side of the mesh. And what remained was something beautiful and soft and vulnerable, possibly for the first time in a very long while, like a plush toy, soft and gentle and open. And yet I still could pick up this sense of fear about what was coming. She was still crying. I don't know the facts of her life, so I can't tell you why this is. But she was still crying. And she hovered in front of the dome thing, the light, and wouldn't go in. It's almost as if she didn't want to know what lay beyond there, in case she was wrong. The proof of all her beliefs could be right there. But for some reason, there was doubt, like, do I want to know? Do I want to know the truth? She waited so long that it's almost like a large bubble extended and enveloped her, bringing unconditional love and acceptance and trust to her door. Come on, dear. Don't worry, stop crying, dry your eyes. It's going to be fine. Come with us. Let us show you what it's really all about. It embraced her wholeheartedly and pulled her in. And she succumbed. She yielded. She let any residual fears dissipate. And she went into the dome. Maybe there was a part of her, as there is in all of us, that felt a little bit of a fraud. Deep down. Behind the bold, committed front. Just felt a little bit like a fraud. It's why I keep hesitating before doing private transition readings. What happens if I'm wrong? The reason I admire Sylvia Browne is because she didn't seem to have those self-doubts. She just went ahead and did her thing anyway. All she could be sure of, once she had shed all her ego attachments and assumptions, many of which came from her religious script, once she'd shed those, all she could be sure of was that beyond the light was love, kindness, no judgment, and a welcoming pair of arms to say, come on, dear, dry your tears. Let's go. And she went. And I hope it was everything she thought it would be. That was what I got for Sylvia Browne. She would probably enjoy knowing that I'd done these pictures. That's what I thought as I was doing them. This would just be in her ballpark. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. Subscribe, like, share if you would. Follow me on Twitter. at Cash Peters. Otherwise, I'll see you next time, guys. Bye-bye.